Welcome to the live episode about Elsinore. We are having technical difficulties with Paranormal Girls, but they will be joining here shortly. So, hopefully that will be soon. So, first off, I am with Devin K. I'm gonna pause this music because it's just
shut the music off.
It's distracting me. Okay. So, first off, I'm with Devin. And he is from Spirit Sessions.
What's up? Represent DJ 101. I'm just kidding. What's up, guys?
We also have an announcement to make.
I have a very important announcement to make to everybody.
What's that announcement?
Actually, should I just do it right here live?
Yeah, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you gonna fucking do?
I was totally gonna fake it and act like I just asked you to marry me live, but yeah, we're fucking engaged.
Yeah, we're engaged. So yeah, welcome, Jen, and
Congrats!
thanks, guys.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about what happened when we went to Elsinore. So, are you guys okay using your names or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we went with Jen and Mary, and that was really fun. So on the way there, we were maybe like an hour away, half hour away, and we were already getting some crazy paranormal evidence. So do one of you guys want to go ahead and talk about what happened?
So what had happened was Devin had downloaded a couple of apps, and I told him the best time to try out the apps is before you get to the location. That way you can understand the nuances of it and to see, like what's just background noise and what is actually authentic. So he goes to open one of the new ones, and we started getting like information right away that was astounding. Like in a car, an hour away, we were getting names and references to stuff that we shouldn't have been getting at that time. And let me say one thing. I did practice with that app today while I was at home, and I got absolutely nothing on it. Nothing whatsoever. And I even had my radio on. I had, Wi-Fi going and everything, and I got nothing. So that kind of adds to the authenticity of what we experienced.
Yeah, and we were getting words like Elsinore, which is where we were going to. We heard names of people that we were with, the person that lives in the church. We heard that name. So it was things that were too relevant. Yeah.
I mean, we heard Devin's name, we heard your name, we heard my name. And the fact that to get Elsinore too, Elsinore is such a weird name to just like be hearing randomly. Mm-hmm. I mean, this town is nothing. There's no way.
Yeah, it couldn't have been a coincidence with the things that we were hearing and how relative they were.
And, while we were doing this, and you can talk about this a little bit later, we had other paranormal experiences in the vehicle with equipment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were looking for cameras to get some B-roll for the videos that we're going to be having up soon. And we couldn't find cameras that we knew for sure we had packed and that we had seen earlier on the trip, and they just had completely disappeared. We searched everywhere in the car for them. We were not able to find them, and more equipment was disappearing.
It was almost, I hate to interrupt, but it was almost as if like the spirits didn't want any of that to be filmed, because not only that, but the camera we did have, the SD card was not working no matter what. And it was basically, it was a full brand new SD card, so it should have been working. We should have been able to record that entire sequence.
And you had specifically in your hand in the vehicle one of the pieces of equipment while you were looking for the camera. So, I mean, that was in the vehicle. We can account for it because you picked it up. And then the fact that when we get to the location, it's gone. It's nowhere to be found. And it was so random. And so when we get to the location, you know, I kind of asked the spirits, you know, did you take the equipment? They replied, yes. And I was like, well, that's okay. Can you just return it sometime? I'm like, I don't care if you don't return it tonight. I just need it returned at some point. And so it was interesting. I kind of went off of a hunch as a medium, and I called up the last location we were at. And let me tell you what, the lady who runs the last location we were at always goes through and checks to make sure no one left equipment. That's like her job in the morning. She went through, she found no equipment. I asked her to, not her specifically, but another employee to look around. And so she said that she'd have that same lady look one more time. And lo and behold, we found out on Sunday that our equipment was at that other location. And I'm just like, okay, well, at least it's returned. Unfortunately, it's returned like 2 hours away from us, but it's returned. So it's so weird. I've never had equipment like that just like disappear that we knew specifically we had in our hand, and then to show up like 2 hours away from where we were currently is astounding.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was kind of weird. I kept getting all these weird references just on social media and other stuff about people sharing stories about missing equipment. And I'm just like, wait, that's what my team has gone through. So lots of weird coincidences, or maybe not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely strange. And then I don't know if you can see it on their Mary and Jen, but Thomas is listening, and he said that he's glad that we were able to find the equipment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. And let me say something. Thomas was the most consummate, wonderful host while we were there at this location. He was amazing. He was very understanding. He made sure all of our needs were taken care of, and that, you know, that we felt welcome. And you tell you what, the spirits at the location really liked
especially
it.
when he got super real in the basement. Let me just say that was the most amazing damn thing I've ever seen. Thank you, Thomas.
Yes.
We totally respected him there. Those spirits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And we can hear that more later, like what happened in the basement and stuff, you know. But yeah, just going back to the beginning of the location, we just had weird stuff at the very beginning before we even got there. So
yeah.
yep.
But like again, back to Thomas, like again, thank you, like your mom, your dad, please thank them for letting us come again. And you were the best host. You made us breakfast, you made us dinner, you made us alcohol. You are one of my favorite people on this planet, and I freaking love you. So yeah, we can go back to the story. But so we pulled up and we got a tour of the house. And I don't remember, was the door in the chapel open when we first got there? It was open, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so the story with the door, I kind of went over a little bit in the last podcast that I did about the church. So that is the door to the Relief Society room. That is the notorious room for being the most active. And that door, it was originally nailed shut, blocked shut, but when the spirits get more active, it opens up by itself, and that's when we know that they're going to be more talkative and more active. And so when we walked into the chapel, that door was open.
And immediately we went to go just take a look. We were just standing on the stairs because you can't go any further. It's not safe. The floor is degraded. We were just taking pictures, and I actually happened to catch a picture of a spirit standing there by the window watching us on the stairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a really cool picture. It was like a full-bodied person. It looked like a male. It was really cool to look at.
Yeah, you can see his eyes, his mouth, you can see his shoulders, and it looks like he's wearing gloves on his hands.
Yeah, and he's definitely got like the natural face. It wasn't like gray or, you know, whatever. It was definitely a natural face color.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then Thomas, he said, "You guys are great. You're welcome back anytime, and I'll make fancy spaghetti."
I thought that was fancy spaghetti because let's be real, my ass, when I make spaghetti, I don't get that nice of a meat for my spaghetti. I get like the cheapest goddamn meat and throw it all in a pan and then cook it like that.
Y'all won't even get meat if I make spaghetti, let's be real.
But if
You'll
he's
get
calling
SpaghettiOs.
if he's calling that ghetto spaghetti, I want to know what his fancy spaghetti is, because that was fancy for my end.
Yeah, that was really good. But yeah, so we got settled in, and we, Thomas gave us a tour of the place.
Got to talk to some of the locals.
Yeah, there was some really cool locals. It's a really small town, and so everybody really knows each other. And so Thomas's grandpa lives there, and he was just sitting outside with some of his buddies, just smoking, and they're telling us some really cool stories. They're porn, their paranormal experiences, and that was really cool to hear. And so just like a bunch of awesome old guys, that was really cool.
You don't often run into people who actually like believe in the paranormal, but they believed in even more just in the paranormal. It was hilarious because here we are. They were strong conspiracy theorists, and one of them knew like a lot of information about anything and everything that we brought up. So it was really cool to just kind of run into people. They had so much, they were so much fun.
Yeah, they were really fun, and they were so interesting to talk to about like the different planes and astral projection, and that was just really cool to talk about. There's not a lot of people that actually sit there and talk to you about that kind of stuff.
And not only that, I think it's cool that the one guy, he wanted to actually be friends and friended me on Facebook. So
Yeah,
He
that
messaged
was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it was fun. That was great. And we started our investigation really early because we knew there was going to be a 40-degree temperature drop difference. I mean, that's significant. And the part that we were going to investigate, of course, wasn't heated or anything. So we started early hoping that, we didn't have to freeze while we did it. And it worked out pretty well. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, we definitely got a lot of activity. We started upstairs, and so me and Devin started upstairs.
And Tom's.
Yeah,
and
well, before
Thomas
that, we were
was-
even doing.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, before that, though, even when we were doing the tour and stuff like that, we were kind of seeing, like, what I might pick up on and stuff like that. And it was cool to see some of that correlated, you know what I mean? Like, he was just doing the tour, and I was like, underneath my feet feel kind of hot. That's all I'm going to say about the floor. It just feels kind of hot. And then for them to say, well, yeah, downstairs gets really hot for some reason. And just, it was kind of cool. Oh, to mention that also, when we first started, I felt like there was like he was saying that there was a female spirit possibly in the pantry, which would have been the library at one time. And, I could definitely feel like she wanted to connect. And so to get her permission, I just went in there and I turned their mugs so they were extremely straight, like perfectly, OCD aligned. And I just let her know, hey, if you want us to communicate with you at some time tonight, just to go ahead and turn a mug or two, just turn the handle. Because, if you ask little things, it's easier to do than telling them, oh, move this whole object and stuff. And it was kind of cool when we came back later on to find out that the mugs were turned. So.
Yeah, that was really cool to come up to. And then again, when we were first taking the tour, she kept saying when we were walking around on the living area that she kept saying my feet were hot, my feet are hot. And then we explained to her when we went downstairs to the kind of coal boiler area that the first time that we went down there, when Thomas and I went down there, the last time that I was there, it was super hot down there, which is really strange because it's like underground, it's concrete, it's super freezing down there. And the first time that we went down there, it was burning hot. We were sweating. We had to like take off our coats, and it was put up our hair. It was so hot down there. And so that was kind of cool to make that correlation between what she was feeling and what happened last time.
Yeah. And, we got down to the very, very bottom of the basement where, I don't know if you want to talk about it or if you talked about it before about the, possible cannibalism of some Native Americans and stuff like that. And that was one of the things we wanted to try to find out if that had really happened, and what was going on. And when I was down there the first time, I definitely felt like a strong pull to like rock and do like this weird guttural chanting that I couldn't even begin to pronounce or say. And I almost wanted and I didn't want to tell him at first because I was just kind of like, well, that's just weird and kind of embarrassing. I almost wanted a big knife in my hand. I mean, I don't know what I would do with it, but I felt like I wanted that, so it was kind of like, does this correlate with, possible cannibalism? I don't know. We'll find out later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then when we started upstairs, Mary and Jen were sitting on the living area, and okay,
we got footsteps. We had a lot of footsteps in the library, you know what I mean? And so what we were supposed to be doing is trying to see or pick up what you guys might have been experiencing upstairs, using kind of the mediumship skills and stuff like that. But the thing is we got distracted after just maybe 3 minutes because we were getting footsteps that sounded like old-fashioned high heels on the wood floor. And so we were kind of chasing that around for a minute. So
yeah, that's really cool. And then you also said that you felt like something was going to happen to me. And when Thomas, Devin, and I were upstairs, we kept hearing my name, and I felt something touch my leg. And we saw an orb come out of me, which was really interesting with you knowing that was something like that was going to happen.
And I felt like you guys were in a big circle, not holding hands or anything, but the way you were positioned around the room was in a large circle. You were kind of towards the edges a bit. And to find out that's what you guys were, you kind of had spread out the equipment and just were kind of hanging out on the edges, leaving the center of the room, alone. So that was kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then when you guys came up, we had the SLS camera, which was really awesome to have. And Devin, do you want to start talking about what happened after they came up?
Oh shoot. We started doing a lot of stuff with the spirit box and static meters and all that, and we ended up going in the Relief Society room, which is kind of a darker area, I guess. It's where what did you say, Jen? What type of entity is in there?
So, what's interesting is, and I don't know if you guys want to talk too much about it, but there was a previous team had gone through this place, and there were some wild stories that we got told, and we were dumbfounded, and so we kind of wanted to see what was true and what was not, because it was almost so unbelievable in nature. To me, I was trying to be respectful of another possible medium, but at the same time I was left dumbfounded that anyone would pick up anything of that nature. And I really, really wish we had taken pictures of that transcript, because I never laughed so hard in my life. But anyways, so we get up there, and I mean, this area is supposed to be really, really bad. Where, she supposedly had to seal it or so. I don't know what happened, but I got in there and I just kind of went down on the steps, and all I could feel was this was an entity, a human spirit, a male, who had done something in his life.
Please do, Thomas. Please do.
That he regretted so bad. And it's almost like it wasn't murder. It may have been rape. I couldn't quite pick up what he did. It just that he had extreme shame. And it was almost like he was punishing himself by being over there, because no one else can access that without fear of having the floor cave in, so it was almost like he put himself in this own little exile area. And that's what I felt. I didn't feel like anything evil. It's just that he was a man who made bad decisions in his life, and so he felt like he wasn't worthy to kind of whatever you want to say, go into the light or whatever. He wasn't worthy to do that, he felt. So he decided to stay here. And then maybe it's because it was a church. Maybe he thought that would help him with his repentance or whatnot. I don't know. It was just interesting though. But that was the type of spirit was.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is when you went in there, everything was pretty much what you were saying. And then after I had gone in there, that's when it's almost like I was feeling exactly what you described that the spirit was going through. And after we had gotten done investigating the top part of the house was when I started really, really feeling what that thing that spirit was feeling, and I honestly thought it was crazy. This is a cool location, one of the coolest places I've been, actually.
You were definitely affected by, two different spirits slash entities this weekend. You know what I mean? It was, of course, first the one that we talked about, like just up there in the reciting room, and then later on the basement one. There was something about you that they really wanted.
Yeah, and what's crazy too is I was looking back at some of the footage late last night, early this morning, and one of the joke clips I filmed with the salt and pepper shakers. I'm pretty sure you, Mary, and Thomas remember that. I was recording the salt and pepper shakers, and it was just a joke clip, and I didn't even think of any, like, I would catch anything or anything because it's just a joke clip. I rewatched that clip last night, and right at the start, right when I get to those salt shakers, a Class A EVP is found in there, and it says Devin. Perfectly clear.
No way. Wait, serious?
That's really cool.
Yeah, like I was sleeping at the time, and he came in my room and he was like, "Babe, you have to wake up. You have to come listen to this." And so like I got out of bed, and I came to listen to it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like that clearly says Devin, and that's didn't sound like anybody that was there. It was something else that was saying that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like after that, we kind of like wanted to take like a small break, like and so Devin was in the front living room all by himself, and then we went to go do like the little nursery room to see if we could get any children spirits. And the reason why is because when we were upstairs, we kept hearing them come through on like the Phasma box. We could hear their little voices and stuff. And then we got the word downstairs a couple of times. Classrooms were like, okay, we need to go downstairs, back to the living areas where the classrooms are, and just investigate for a little bit. And while we were investigating the supposed nursery and stuff like that, we didn't get a lot of child voices. We get one every now and then. But we definitely got a single male spirit who would answer questions so well for us. It was amazing. It was great. And then during that whole entire time, Devin is feeling like he's sitting on the couch, just really being affected by that spirit from upstairs. And eventually I just said, Allie, you need to go check on him. Go see what's going on. Please go check on Devin. And that's when she went out there, and I'll let you guys take it away from there.
Yeah, so I was also feeling like I needed to go check on Devin. Like I was kind of worried about him, but I also didn't want to like make him come join us or go bother him if he needed his space, because this was one of my first investigations with him, and so I was just giving him his space. And then when you brought it up too, I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely need to go check on him. And so I went to go talk to him, and I walked in the room, and he was literally hunched over, and like his eyes were glazed over, and he just looked completely out of it. And I went over and sat with him, and he was freezing cold and shaking. And like I got on top of him to like warm him up, and I got his jacket, and I was trying to warm him up, and he was shaking like he was literally freezing. And it was crazy. And like I was just talking to him, I was like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need anything?" And he was just telling me, he was like, I was literally like envisioning myself slitting my wrists and cutting my throat and killing myself. And like he was like, I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't have come in when you did. And so that was really crazy that happened.
Which is insane because I never get like that.
Yeah, I can attest to that. That's what I was going to say is we have been with Devin many times, and he never gets affected that way in investigations. If anything, he's like me, he gets energized by being in a location that is haunted, where we're almost like super hyper and just don't want to stop. So it was unusual to see Devin like that. I mean, and we'd been in a location that had a severe demonic infestation, and it never affected him. So it was kind of interesting that this affected him.
Yeah, it was definitely strange. And the night before we went, he was also having a lot of bad dreams and couldn't sleep, and he was feeling really depressed. And so I'm wondering if that was affecting him the night before as well. And then he's also like, since then he's been having some bad dreams, and it's like he's still kind of recovering from the para hangover. But yeah, it was definitely scary when that happened.
definitely need a break for a minute.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's so weird because I think the spirits, they were speaking out so much, like even in the car, so far away, and just playing around like that way. I think it's because they really wanted to be heard. I mean, they had someone come through before, but they weren't properly heard the way that they wanted to be portrayed or come across, and so therefore they were desperate to like almost do it again to try to get a better connection, is what it seemed like. So they were very active that night and very influential to all of the team members.
hmm Yeah, and then we took a break for a little bit, let Devin cool down, and I started playing The Sims because we were all just hanging out, and so they decided they were going to go back downstairs, and Devin was feeling up to it, so he went. I stayed upstairs because I was just exhausted physically, emotionally, mentally, all of that. And so tell them what happened when you guys went downstairs.
One quick thing, real quick. While Devin was in the other room playing video games, I was cooking pizza rolls in the living room when I saw a spirit descend from the ceiling and go straight towards the room Devin was in. And immediately he just kind of, the energy just felt different around him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of being like so, like, down and kind of upset, he was like, okay, let's go back upstairs. Let's go downstairs. Let's go do this shit and everything. And
Yeah, it really changed. So, we went to go downstairs, like where the Boy Scout room is, and then where the bottom basement, like, like where the coal chute was and stuff like that. And the spirits were very, like, talkative. They said they thought at one point that something had happened in the Boy Scout room and that there was, possibly like they had like touched boys or something like that. I don't think we correlated any of that at all. We just got a lot of the spirits, or I should say one specific, the one in the basement where the supposed cannibalism may have happened was the one that was really calling out to Devin, like a lot. But the other spirits, like with Thomas, like
Taboo. Welcome
Yeah, like-
to the show.
luckily though, we were able to, Thomas was able to help put his foot down with what was going on with the spirits, with the one that was down the basement. It was kind of nice to, say, hey, you are welcome here with our family as long as you don't like hurt anyone and stuff. And if you do, there's gonna be issues. And it was so funny to hear the spirits go, yeah, we're effed, if we do something wrong. It's basic. It was hilarious. And then I was asking some questions and I got called what I thought was I was just talking and all of a sudden we hear the biggest word come through.
That's
Yes.
exactly what it was. You were just talking and out of nowhere it was just like, bitch.
And then, and then I was like, wait, me? What did I do? But then Devin's like, who are you calling?
Like, who you calling a bitch?
And it was the other team that come through. They said that. And it's funny because we kept asking him, throughout the night, like, how did you think about this other team? Like, what was your experience? And they're like, don't bring him back, is what we got through several times, and calling him a B word and everything else. And it's not that they had that other team had attacked the spirits at the place. They did the wrong, they said a lot of things that weren't true, and the spirits were very unhappy with it. Put it that way.
Yeah, see, and the thing is I'm not here to bash any other paranormal team. I'm not here to fucking, sit and talk shit on other paranormal teams. But all I gotta say is I got the footage. I got what the spirit said. Watch the fucking episode.
Yeah, that's all we can say about that. But
I'm
so
also
God,
going to mention that he has been drinking, and so I'm just going to put that out there.
So it was interesting though, because then that's all right. So Devin keeps getting called names, like to go down to the basement, and we were all just kind of like hesitant about it. And then finally, I'm just like, okay, we just got to get this over with. We've got to see what's going on. And Devin's like, okay, he's all riled up, he's ready to go. And we get down in the basement, and absolutely nothing happens. But I started figuring something out though. Before I forget, I need to backtrack. So before then, I started figuring things out with what was going on at the basement, because we always wondered, well, was there Native Americans down there? Could we correlate that? We had asked all night long so many times are there Native Americans on this property? I mean, none of them answered, and we got no responses. I'm not saying that there wasn't. We're just saying we couldn't correlate that with anything at all. But I did start to feel that the spirit in the basement was something different. I kind of started picking up why I felt that way before and why it kept calling Devin out and so forth. It was trying to get a fear reaction. It was building up that energy from Devin and from us, like what's going to happen when we go downstairs, because they kept saying all the sort of stuff, and we're like, well, we've got to do it. And I kept thinking about it. I'm like, I've experienced this once before, and this was back in Washoe, and I was like, I think I know what it is. And we get down there and it confirms it because nothing happens. It was what we would call an energy vampire. It's an entity that likes to build up fear to get that sort of reaction so that they can feed off of it. I couldn't pick up much more than that. It could have been elemental. It could have been human at one time. All we do know is right now its primary purpose is to feed off of energy. And Devin was his energy, his lightning that night, his food.
And it did achieve that at first. Jenny had just stepped away for just a moment. Me and Devin were holding the spirit box, and all of a sudden we heard this very loud, like, come in. It sounded so evil, and it was this deep
honestly, it wasn't even it didn't even sound normal, which was weird. It was just like, come in. Like, it
sounded like
evil.
Serial killer.
Mm-hmm. And when Devin when he started to walk down the stairs at one time, it said, "We got him."
Yeah.
So, yep. We get downstairs, and of course, nothing, because once you kind of learn what they are, and with Thomas putting his foot down, it takes their power away. It takes it so that they cannot influence the people as much and stuff. And besides, I think he kind of got enough food from earlier, but I'm just glad that that it's going to stay down there. It's not something that's demonic attachment or whatever that's going to follow people around. So it'll be interesting to see if it was Native American at one time. We have to go back. There's so many more questions that we didn't get answered.
Yeah, we definitely will be going back. And the person that owns the Cowboy Corral across the street, they did invite us to come investigate that place as well. And so hopefully after we take this break, we'll be able to go and investigate both of the places and be able to hopefully answer some questions about the church and then be able to see what's going on with the Cowboy Corral as well.
Yep. We're all going through a power hangover. It's so weird. We are all just so drained. Like, we possibly have like an investigation with another team up here in Ogden, and we're all just left going, do we really want to go? Do we have it in us to go?
Yeah, for sure.
It's break time, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it was really fun to go up there and be able to visit the church again and find out, the truth about what's happened. Hopefully we can get some more light put on that. And it was really fun. And what was your favorite part, Jen and Mary?
My favorite part was possibly in the car, because it was just that shouldn't have happened. Mm-hmm. And then also, honestly, all the equipment, like, we personally had in our hands at one point, and it just disappeared, and it shows up at another haunted location, is crazy.
My favorite part is we were going through the chapel upstairs one last time, and they're unlocking the door because there's a code on it, and I'm whispering to Jen, don't tell them, and Devin opens the door with a camera in his hand, and the Santa figure is just standing right there in the doorway, and both Devin and Allie just jumped so high, and they were screaming. I want to see that footage.
It is so hilarious. We went through it last night. So just to backtrack on the Santa Claus, it was originally up in the window, and we had to move it because there was a shadow of a person. So we had to move it to make sure that that wasn't messing with any of the evidence we were getting. And so we moved it in front of the door, and we forgot that we had moved it there. And so it scared the shit out of me and Devin when we went back in there later.
It was great.
It was great. It was hilarious. I don't think I've ever screamed in fear like that.
Oh my goodness. What was your favorite part, Devin?
I have to say that my favorite part, honestly, like every other trip, is the road trip of getting there. We all just get to bond together and talk and have a great old time on the road, and I think that's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, I remember we were just on the car ride back, and you both just looked at us and were like, I think we're getting married. And then 3 hours later on Facebook, we get the notification that you guys got engaged. That was the best thing.
Yep, you guys were one of the first to know, so.
Like, it was good that it was a mutual agreement instead of just, all the drama and stuff, going to a restaurant, going to the top of a mountain, stuff like that. It was the cutest thing.
Yeah. Thomas said he's hurt that he wasn't one of the first to know. Well, Thomas, it happened in your bed, so you can feel happy about that.
Literally in his bed.
Yep.
Like,
In a haunted location. Like, that is the coolest goddamn thing ever. And I couldn't ask for a better woman in the world.
My thing is how in the heck am I going to get my equipment back? I don't have the time or the money to go drive 2 hours to go pick it up. Can they just have transported it here? It's like one last joke, like, ha.
I don't know.
It was funny.
That is pretty funny. But yeah, it was really good, and I'm excited to go on more adventures with you guys, and you guys are way fun to investigate with.
Oh yeah, no, feeling is mutual. It's been great. It's been wonderful. I mean, that's kind of why I closed down my team before that Devin was with, was because we realized that there was some sort of magic between before you were there, us 3 members, and it almost made it so we didn't want to investigate with anyone else. And so I kind of closed down the team that I've spent like 2.5 years trying to build up, because it was something special we had. And then to bring you into the mix has been wonderful too. It's been great. Like I said, it's magic.
It balances Devin out because he's not doing stupid shit anymore.
Like, yeah, he knows that I'll kill him if he does stupid shit. So.
Well, let me just tell you guys right now, I'm super excited for you guys to see the new Spirit Sessions intro. I fully edited the intro last night, and my personal opinion, I thought it was pretty amazing. I'm excited for you guys to see it.
Yeah, I'm so excited too.
But it's nice now that it used to have to be me that would be like, Devin, don't do that. That's stupid. And he would just go and do it. So I'd have to just go do it with him to make sure he didn't do anything more stupid, like fall off a cliff when we saw a Slender Man figure.
Yeah, I'll just look at him and he knows the look when he knows he's being stupid, so.
Thank you, Allie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Mary, you were the one promoting shots. Thank you, Thomas.
Well, that time. But you were like, oh, let's go over here. And then we hear all this satanic talk and we see the Slender Man figure. And I keep telling you, let's go this way. And you're like, no, let's go that way. So we go your way and we almost fall off a cliff. Like, we almost died.
Yeah,
that was one of the most craziest experiences of my life. I've never seen anything like that. That was scary as hell.
That was after I told you two specifically, do not investigate in that direction. There is something over there.
And then me and Mary are like, screw Jen, we're gone. Bye.
I'm like, what's the point of being a medium if they're not going to listen to me on safety?
But like, the figure was literally like probably 9.5 feet tall, where like the body was all black except for the head, which was just like pure white light.
Men in black.
Yeah, pure white light. And it started running at us with this like, almost like how, if you've ever seen the Vine with the Water Malone guy, how they're running on the sidewalk, looked exactly like that and started running towards us while chanting our names and saying, "Go get them."
Thank you, Thomas. Yes, listen to Jen.
So,
Hey,
yeah.
I started listening to you though after that reading, Jen. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been wonderful. We'll let kind of Ellie take it away here to close it out.
Yeah, well, thanks for talking to us. I appreciate it, and thanks for.
No, we feel very honored for being able to go. That was amazing. I mean, you could have taken another team, and who knows how that would have turned out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I freaking love both of you guys. I love you too, Thomas. I love all of my paranormal family. And that's it for me. That's all I got to say. I'll hand it back over to my wonderful fiance. I love you all. Peace out and have a great night.
You gonna go drink some more?
Yeah, he's already drinking. He got huge new beers with the new alcohol content, so he's having a good time.
Well,
But-
tell Devin thank you. He made me a wonderful drink. I loved it when we were down there. And thanks to Thomas for the alcohol for it.
Well, yeah, thank you. But yeah, I'm excited to go out with you guys, and thank you everyone who's been listening to us. I wanted to let you guys know that we have 1,000 downloads now, which is awesome, with only 18 episodes. And so thank you to everyone who's been listening and supporting me and us, and keep supporting us.
A round of applause.
Oh, thanks.
Aww. Also, Allie, if you don't mind, can I just do a little plug-in? Please follow Paranormal Girls on Facebook. We would appreciate it. We've got to get that following built back up from our other team. So
Yeah, for sure. So go follow them, Paranormal Girls, and then go follow Spirit Sessions on Instagram, Facebook, all those things.
it's a three-way team up. Monty's Mysteries, Spirit Sessions, and Paranormal Girls.
Exactly.
It's community working together.
And also, Thomas is single and ready to mingle, for those of you wondering. So, but yeah, we love you guys and we appreciate it. And on Amazon Prime, Spirit Sessions will be on there in January, we're hoping. So keep an eye out for that, and you'll be able to watch the Elsinore episode and also some other ones that are really cool. So keep an eye out for that. Keep listening to us. Our merch page is up now, so go check that out. It is on our Facebook and Instagram. And I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.